Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Did He Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
I'm not talented. They are.
They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life.
50 Cent is back at it, causing a stir, and this time, he's targeting the big names.
Something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before.
You already know that 50's been working on a fiery documentary, right? Well, it's about to shake up the whole industry, opening up like never before.
I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
Word on the street is that this isn't just another tell-all. Oh no, baby, this one's packed with receipts, backstage drama, and stories that some people would do anything to keep under wraps.
No more puffy juice. No more puffy juice. Oh, really? And, there's different things that's not really beef though. That's just competitive.
So you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock
okay.
like that.
They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life.
I have no beef with I don't know why. With Fifth, he loves me. He loves me.
Do y'all really
can't
have
see
a
it?
beef?
You really, hold on, you really think that's hate? When you really break it down, you've been out here a long time. You know he loves me.
I don't think he like you.
You know he loves me.
I don't think he like you.
Okay.
The reason you never went to those parties back in the day?
I'm just not with all that freaky. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
The major players in the industry are already pulling out all the stops to shut it down before it even sees the light of day. But you know 50, he's not backing down. He's calling people out, spilling all the tea, and letting everyone know he's ready for all the smoke.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Did He Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
To understand why 50 is dragging Diddy into the spotlight, you have to look back at their origins. Diddy, born in 1969, grew up in Harlem during the tough 70s. He's always repped Harlem hard, calling it his soul, his swag, and the source of his relentless hustle. But after losing his father when he was just 2 years old, his family moved to Mount Vernon, a quieter suburb outside the Bronx that offered a different vibe. It gave Diddy a fresh perspective, exposure to new cultures, and more opportunities. He attended an all-boys private school, where he dipped his toes into the arts. Fun fact, as a teenager, Diddy even danced in music videos for legends like Diana Ross. Maybe that's where those iconic flashy moves in his later videos came from. After high school, Diddy took his unstoppable ambition to Howard University in D.C., studying business and throwing massive parties that got everyone talking. These weren't your typical college get-togethers. Diddy's parties were next level. Celebrities started showing up, mingling with students, and he even handed out custom business cards engraved with Puff on them, cementing his reputation as the ultimate party king. By 1989, Diddy had already connected with his childhood friend, Heavy D, who was a big name in rap, and Heavy D introduced him to Andre Harrell, the owner of Uptown. That introduction marked a major turning point for Diddy. He landed an internship at Uptown Records and quickly rose through the ranks, becoming an A&R executive in no time. By his early 20s, Diddy was already making big moves. Crazy, right? But his rise wasn't without its struggles. Things got messy when Uptown's parent company tried to shut down Biggie's debut album Ready to Die claiming it was too explicit. But Diddy wasn't having it. He went head-to-head with them, fighting back. However, In a twist of fate, he got fired. And here's the kicker, getting fired turned out to be the best thing that could have happened. Diddy flipped the script and launched Bad Boy Entertainment in 1993, with a roster that included Biggie, Craig Mack, Lil' Kim, and The Lox. Bad Boy quickly became a chart-topping powerhouse. In '94, Ready to Die finally hit the streets, and it was nothing short of a cultural reset. Not only did it solidify Biggie as a legend, but it also put Bad Boy on the map as a force to be reckoned with. Throughout the 90s, the label stayed hot, dropping hits and setting trends that redefined hip-hop. Diddy wasn't just in the game, he was the game. By the early 2000s, Diddy was living his best life. He wasn't just a music mogul, he was a full-blown A-list icon. With hits, money, and J.Lo by his side at the 2000 Grammys, Diddy exuded Hollywood royalty. From throwing lavish parties to rubbing elbows with the elite, he was popping champagne like water. Diddy had officially claimed his throne at the top of the game. While Diddy was soaking up the glitz and glam, a young 50 Cent was out here grinding his way to the top. The contrast between Diddy's polished mogul status and 50's gritty hustle planted the seeds for their rivalry. While Diddy flaunted his flashy lifestyle, 50 was clawing his way out of the streets. By the late 90s, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson from Southside Jamaica, Queens wasn't just any street guy, he had the infamous 134 Guy Brewer block on lock, running it like a boss. But 50 didn't want to stay just a street legend, he had bigger goals. By 1996, he was already flipping his street hustle into a budding rap career, thanks to mentorship from Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. Under Jay's wing, 50 honed his songwriting skills and started building his sound. It was the beginning of something huge. His rise was raw, gritty, and unapologetically real, a stark contrast to Diddy's champagne-popping high society ascent. But one thing they shared was an unrelenting hunger for success, neither was willing to let anyone stand in their way. By 1999, 50 secured a deal with Columbia Records and was preparing to drop his debut album, Power of the Dollar Star. But things got spicy. Feeling like the buzz wasn't big enough, 50 decided to make a statement nobody could ignore. In August 1999, he dropped How to Rob a track so controversial it sent shockwaves through the industry. He came for everybody, R&B legends like Bobby Brown, rap icons like DMX, and of course, Diddy himself. In the opening line, 50 straight up threatened to kidnap Diddy's then-girlfriend, Kim Porter, and demand ransom. And as if that wasn't wild enough, he doubled down with a savage line about Diddy dancing his way to the nearest ATM. The audacity was genius, and the plan worked like a charm. The whole music industry couldn't stop talking about him, from the headlines to barbershop debates. How to Rob cemented 50 as the rising provocateur to watch. But with all that heat came risk. Just as 50 was basking in the buzz, trouble arrived. In 2000, he dropped the Ghetto Cure which hit too close to home. The track wasn't just a song, it was a street diary, raw and unfiltered. It shook the streets and the industry alike, stirring both respect and controversy. People knew 50 wasn't afraid to push boundaries. Even though there was tension between them, there was still a level of mutual respect, especially since 50 had written for Diddy before. In New York's rap elite, it was 50 Cent, Jay-Z, and Diddy running the game, each one sharp and calculated, no matter how messy things got. But back to the Ghetto Cure star. In it, 50 went all in, laying bare the exploits of notorious Queens drug lord Kenneth Supreme McGriff and his crew. He didn't sugarcoat anything, he named names, detailed crimes, and even mentioned what cars they drove. To some, it was street poetry, to others, it was straight-up snitching. One person who wasn't a fan was Supreme himself. And things took a dark turn on May 24, 2000, when 50 was ambushed outside his grandmother's house and shot 9 times. Yes, 9 times. But here's the kicker, 50 survived. Not only did he live, but he drove himself to the hospital like the unstoppable force he is. The shooting derailed his career temporarily, though. Columbia Records dropped him, and Power of the Dollar was shelved indefinitely. It seemed like a major setback, but you'll know 50, he wasn't about to fold. By 2001, he was already plotting his comeback. Here's where the tea gets even juicier. Despite all the drama between them, Diddy seemed to let bygones be bygones. Word on the street is that J.Lo herself suggested Diddy bring 50 in as a ghostwriter. Talk about a plot twist. And guess what? Diddy took her advice. According to 50, he even wrote the hook for Diddy's verse on Bad Boys Let's Get It featuring Black Rob. If you listen closely, those lyrics have 50 Cent's signature grit, raw, catchy, and dripping with his style. But here's the kicker. Even after ghostwriting for Diddy, 50 wasn't done throwing shade. In 2002, he called Diddy a trick on the track * Get Out the Club *, then clowned him for losing J.Lo on another song. Diddy didn't clap back. Maybe he thought it wasn't worth it, or maybe he just chalked it up to 50 being, well, 56. But get this, despite the jabs, Diddy still saw potential in 50. According to Tony Yayo, Diddy even considered signing 50 to Bad Boy Records. Yep, you read that right, Diddy almost had one of hip-hop's future titans on his roster. So why didn't it happen? One word, supreme. Diddy wasn't about to deal with the baggage 50 brought after spilling all that tea in * the Ghetto Curan star. The drama with Supreme was too hot to handle, and Diddy decided it wasn't worth the risk. In hindsight, passing on 50 might have been one of Diddy's biggest missed opportunities. Just think about the empire they could have built together. But knowing 50's messy, no-holds-barred energy, he probably would have found a way to stir the pot anyway, because that's just how he rolls. This undercurrent of tension between the two moguls set the stage for what came next. By 2003, both Diddy and 50 were at the top of their game, dominating hip-hop in their own lanes. They were trendsetters, hitmakers, and two of the most influential figures in the culture. For a while, things stayed relatively quiet between them. But you'll know how beef works in hip-hop, it rarely stays quiet for long. Everything came to a head at the MTV VMAs on August 28, 2003. Diddy had the honor of presenting the award for Best Rap Video, and the winner, none other than 50 Cent for * in DA Club Star. You'd think this would be a feel-good moment, right? All smiles and good vibes. Wrong. On stage, they seemed to be vibing, dapping each other up, putting on a united front. But behind the scenes, oh, it was a different story. That same year, at Chris Lighty's wedding, one of the biggest events in the industry, things reportedly got even more heated between Diddy and 50. The tension was palpable, and the vibes were anything but celebratory. Chris Lighty, a respected name in hip-hop and a close friend to both Diddy and 50, was supposed to be the bridge between them. But instead of easing the tension, things got mad awkward. According to 50, it was something Diddy said toward the end of the wedding that set him off. Over the years, 50 has talked about this moment in interviews, and it left fans wondering what exactly went down. Diddy made a strange offer. He reportedly said, "I'll take you shopping and pay for everything." Now, let's be real, 50 was caught off guard. He didn't know if Diddy was just being overly friendly or if there was some hidden message behind it. Either way, the offer didn't sit right with 50. It made him uncomfortable, adding more fuel to the fire. But the big question remains, was Diddy being genuinely friendly, or was he low-key trying to mess with 50's head? Was he trying to make 50 feel like he was beneath him? We may never know for sure, but whatever Diddy's intentions were, it clearly didn't sit well with 50. From that moment on, 50 started throwing subtle jabs at Diddy in his music and interviews, and you could feel the tension growing between them. Diddy's persona, his empire, and everything in between created the perfect backdrop for their rivalry. But here's the real kicker, their beef wasn't just about personal digs or petty drama. Nah, the real sparks flew when it came to business. Let's rewind a bit. Diddy had already made major waves in the music industry long before this beef started. He wasn't just a producer, he was the mastermind behind Bad Boy Records, steering the ship during the iconic Notorious B.I.G. era. But after Biggie's tragic passing, Diddy didn't just stay in the music game, he reinvented himself. He branched out, building an empire in ways nobody saw coming. First, there was Sean John, his clothing brand, which raked in hundreds of millions, cementing Diddy as a lifestyle mogul. Then he made moves in the spirits industry with his game-changing Ciroc vodka deal. Diddy didn't just endorse Ciroc, he took over the brand, acting like he was running the whole company. He declared Ciroc was the drink of kings, real bosses drank grape vodka, not that potato stuff, and he didn't stop there. He marketed Ciroc like liquid gold, turning it into a must-have status symbol at his legendary parties, where every A-lister had a glass in hand. But here's where things get juicy. Diddy inked a deal that secured 50% of Ciroc's profits for 6 years. Talk about a power move. By 2013, Ciroc was a dominant force, and Diddy's empire was valued at a staggering $345 million. When someone's shining that bright, competition starts to take notice. Enter 50 Cent. And if there's one thing we know about 50, it's that he has zero chill. He wasn't about to let Diddy enjoy all that glory without a little competition. While the beef had cooled off for a minute, 50 came back swinging during a 2010 press run, throwing serious shade. He called Diddy a bloodsucker and flat out dismissed his music as trash. But things escalated when Diddy dropped a bombshell announcement he was renaming his supergroup * the Supreme Team Star. Now, you might be thinking, what's the problem with that? Well, the twist is that the Supreme Team is the name of the infamous gang tied to the 2000 shooting that almost took 50's life. Talk about a low blow, right? Then in June 2010, 50 went full savage during an interview, claiming Diddy wasn't even a real artist. Since Diddy didn't write his own lyrics, 50 argued, he wasn't a musician, he was a businessman. He went on to say that if he pieced together random lines from other people's songs, technically, he could be called an artist too. But to 50, that wasn't true to hip-hop's culture of individuality and authenticity. He wasn't. Diddy's rise to power wasn't just about music, it was about building an empire. After landing an internship at Uptown Records, he quickly moved up the ranks, becoming an A&R executive in his early 20s. But when Uptown's parent company tried to shut down Biggie's debut album Ready to Die, claiming it was too explicit, Diddy didn't back down. He fought hard for Biggie's album, but when the dust settled, he got fired. Ironically, getting fired became one of Diddy's best opportunities. In 1993, he launched Bad Boy Entertainment, signing artists like Biggie, Lil' Kim, Craig Mack, and The Lox. The label became a powerhouse, and in 1994, Ready to Die was finally released, transforming Biggie into a legend and putting Bad Boy on the map. Throughout the 90s, Diddy and his label dominated the charts, shaping the sound and culture of hip-hop. By the early 2000s, Diddy was more than a mogul, he was an icon. From hosting glamorous parties to dating Jennifer Lopez and living the high life, Diddy had successfully rebranded himself as Hollywood royalty. Meanwhile, in the streets of New York, a young 50 Cent was carving his own path. His journey was gritty, a sharp contrast to Diddy's polished, champagne-popping lifestyle. But both shared an unrelenting hunger for success. 50 Cent's rise came after years of grinding in the streets. By 1996, he had started rapping and, under the mentorship of Jam Master Jay, he honed his craft. His career took off when he dropped the controversial track How to Rob in 1999, where he targeted various figures in the industry, including Diddy. The track stirred up major buzz, and despite the controversy, 50 Cent secured a record deal with Columbia Records. However, just as his career seemed to take off, tragedy struck. He was shot 9 times in 2000. Miraculously, he survived, driving himself to the hospital. The shooting temporarily derailed his career, but by 2001, 50 Cent was back on his feet, and Diddy, despite the tension, seemed to see potential in him. Word on the street was that Diddy considered signing 50 to Bad Boy Records, but it never happened, mainly due to the drama surrounding 50's connection to the notorious Kenneth Supreme McGriff. In hindsight, passing on 50 Cent may have been one of Diddy's biggest missed opportunities. By 2003, both Diddy and 50 Cent were at the top of the game, but their rivalry was far from over. At the MTV VMAs that year, Diddy presented 50 Cent with the award for Best Rap Video. The public interaction seemed friendly, but behind the scenes, tensions were rising. The turning point came at Chris Lighty's wedding, where Diddy made a bizarre offer to 50, inviting him shopping and offering to pay for everything. 50 Cent felt uncomfortable, and that moment intensified their feud. The beef escalated over the next several years, especially when 50 Cent began throwing serious shade at Diddy. In 2010, 50 labeled Diddy a bloodsucker and trashed his music. However, things got even messier when Diddy's renaming of his supergroup to the Supreme Team, a name linked to 50's life-threatening shooting, triggered 50 Cent's fury. In interviews, 50 continued to call out Diddy for not being a true artist and for using other people's lyrics. The animosity only grew from there. 50 claimed he had compromising photos of Diddy's then-girlfriend, Cassie, which he implied were taken at Diddy's request. This revelation added a disturbing layer to the feud, with 50 claiming that Diddy had used manipulation and control in his relationships with women. The accusations of exploitation and mistreatment at Diddy's infamous parties added to the growing narrative of Diddy's troubling behavior. Fast forward to 2024, and the story takes a dramatic turn. 50 Cent's company, G-Unit Film and Television, teamed up with Netflix to produce a bombshell documentary about Diddy. Co-directed by 50 and Alexandria Stapleton, the documentary promises to delve into serious allegations, including sexual misconduct and racketeering. But this isn't just about sensationalism. 50 Cent made it clear that all proceeds from the documentary would go to helping victims of sexual assault and related crimes. 50 Cent has been pushing forward with the project despite the obstacles and industry efforts to block it. He's confident that the truth will come out, and is committed to seeing it through. Powerful figures, including Clive Davis, are allegedly working behind the scenes to protect their interests, But 50 Cent is undeterred. This documentary isn't just about exposing scandal, it's about giving a voice to the victims who have been silenced for years. As the project nears release, questions remain. Will Diddy finally face accountability for his alleged actions, or will his powerful connections shield him once again? The documentary could change the game, but only time will tell.